What's up, everyone? So in this lesson, we're going to be talking a little bit more about your body language when you're in a public setting. Okay, so specifically talking about, if you're at a social gathering, networking event, party, business brunch, something like that. A lot of times when someone they're not comfortable in the setting and they feel a little awkward, right? So guys, what I've noticed is this is something that you want to shy away from. And the reason why you want to be aware of stuff like this, because other people notice, right? You're probably, your shyness or anxiety or awkward feeling, it's coming out of you, and you've got to kind of tame that. Calm that down a little bit. And once you're aware of it, this is why we're having, you're in this lesson, we're having this talk right now, is so that it can be brought to light. So what I notice with a lot of guys, right, is when they're in a room and they don't necessarily feel as comfortable as they should, their minds are always kind of wandering, right? When they walk into a room, their eyes just kind of all over the place. They don't know how to just be still and be confident in where they stand. They walk in and they're just kind of all over the place and just looking around, seeing what's going on. They don't really know how to, have their body positioned. They're just looking around. That's something that someone else looking at you can tell, you look out of place, right? Instead of doing all of this looking around, right? If you're a guy, you just chill. Look confident, all right? Just be still and yourself, look around, see somebody, what's up? And this is important. You may think this is something simple, but when you're in a room and you're trying to meet some folks and people don't really know who you are, when you're doing that kind of head swivel thing, kind of just looking around because you don't know where to put your eyes, it gives off a unconfident vibe. Yeah, just be cool, be calm. Sometimes, you can pull out your phone and scroll on your phone and see what's going on your phone. But truth of the matter is that you don't want to do that too much either, because then now you just look like you don't want to be there, right? You look like maybe the place is annoying to you, or you're just not interested in your surrounding. So yeah, you can scan your phone for a second, but don't be in your phone the whole time, because then you look super uninterested. That's kind of what I do sometimes when I'm somewhere where I'm not interested to be at, and I try not to put myself in those positions. I'm on my phone the whole time, and it doesn't give a good impression of who you are. If you're there, instead of the head swivel, just kind of take one glance in one area. All right, cool. Look another area. And what you should be doing in this time is you should be trying to find someone to connect with and have a conversation with, instead of just sitting there looking, or sitting or standing looking aimless, and not trying to mingle with anyone. Yeah, just spark up a quick conversation, because the people who are in that room, who are doing something of significance, they're having conversations with other people. You should be doing the same thing. Instead of the head swivel, find somebody that you can, potentially have a conversation with, and you do that. Also, with guys, what I noticed is that when they have a drink in their hand, right? They'll be in a room and they'll have a drink in their hand. The drink is, they're like this. And this is also kind of a sign of, not being confident. It's like you're covering your chest. It's like you're hiding in a sense. Instead, this is just some water. This, you're chilling. You're in the spot. You got your arms down. You're holding your cup in your hand, and it's down to your waist side, right? It's down. Your arm is down your leg. You're more relaxed. You don't seem as tense like this. This is what's going on? Hey, how you doing? No, just be cool. Put your hand down with the glass, and move around the room as you should. These are just little things, right? They're not make or break things, but I definitely wanted to just talk about it really quick in the course, because that can also help with you feeling a little bit more confident in yourself, when you're in these settings, if you're more so of the awkward person, right? If you don't necessarily know how to just have your body, right, when you're in and around a lot of people. Simple things, ladies, this is something that you can listen to as well. Not necessarily the drink thing, but definitely the head swivel thing for sure. More guys do that than women, but also I know sometimes with some women, right, when they kind of don't know how to be in a room, they'll try to be like the life of the party. And if that's not your personality, you got to be careful with that, because then you can kind of look trashy. And I'm not saying you are trashy. Please don't take that the wrong way. I'm just saying that sometimes when you try to force to look a certain way, you won't come off the way you're trying to look, you know. So yeah, with that being said, you know, just take some time to kind of be aware of how you are in these settings, and it can go a long way. You know, guys, you know, if you want to be the life of the party, trying to hype everybody up, come on, let's dance, let's talk, that also can come off as not trashy, but comes off as annoying. You know, it's like, all right, be cool, man, just relax. And maybe that's not your personality either. And you can't necessarily do that with people you don't know. You know, you can't you can't be in a room with a bunch of people you do not know and have like an overzealous personality or attitude, unless that is naturally you, because energy is a real thing, and we've all got to understand that human beings can sense each other's energy, and if you're forcing to be a certain way around people, people will sense it off the bat. They don't have to meet you at all. Today could be the first day that they're ever meeting you, and they'll know that I don't like how this guy is, or this girl is acting. But if that's naturally how you are, and people love it always, like you've just been that kind of person, right? People will sense that as well too, and they're gonna love your vibe, right? There's people who you know, they deal with both. So just be aware of that, okay? When you're in a setting around a bunch of people that you may not know, the main thing you want to do is just be mature, be relaxed, you know, be confident, and make your way around, you know, trying to have a conversation with somebody, and remember the rules of asking questions and really figuring out what it is that they want to talk about, and you use those answers as ammunition to continue to have the conversation. All right, so just a quick video explaining how to be in a room. And if you have any more questions, I'm pretty sure we're going to have, you know, a place where we can have more dialogue about it.